The daytime rush drains away, leaving behind a profound kind of quiet. Working the graveyard shift means stepping into a liminal space, entirely severed from the safety of the bustling 9-to-5 world. In these early morning hours, the normal rules of society are suspended. The dense crowds that usually provide a buffer of safety are gone. Bystander intervention is a statistical impossibility, and police response times stretch out across empty highways. People generally assume late-night danger comes from erratic behavior or a crime of opportunity, a desperate smash and grab. The reality is much more methodical. These isolated environments draw in highly organized groups hunting for solitary, vulnerable targets. These networks don't rely on luck. They run a calculated playbook to spring a trap without drawing attention. We can break their strategy down into 3 distinct phases: observation, manipulation, and ambush. Escaping these situations rarely comes down to overpowering an attacker. Survival depends entirely on recognizing the psychological architecture of the trap before that third phase snaps shut. Predators operating in syndicates need absolute certainty before they commit to a strike. During the observation phase, their primary goal is to map out the environment and verify that the target is truly alone. Take the case of Cadence, a bartender working a quiet Tuesday night. A well-dressed, seemingly sophisticated man sat at her bar, striking up polite conversation. He wasn't aggressive. Instead, he used casual small talk to ask highly specific questions about her schedule, probing to find out when she got off work and if she had any coworkers around. In another case, a lone gas station clerk received a series of unnerving phone calls. The caller didn't make direct threats. He simply asked if the store always got so quiet at that hour. He was sitting in the darkness outside, watching her every move through the glass, matching his questions to the exact physical conditions of her environment. These moments often get brushed off as awkward encounters. They are actually calculated reconnaissance. The perpetrators are actively locating camera blind spots, checking for security personnel, and testing how the worker responds to psychological pressure. If a target suppresses their discomfort and remains polite, they inadvertently provide the attackers with crucial data. Ignoring that heavy gut feeling signals compliance, giving the network the green light to advance to the next phase. Brute force in a monitored area is a massive liability. To bypass alarms and cameras, these networks shift to manipulation, turning our own social wiring against us so we willingly walk into the snare. One highly effective method is the fake rescue. During a late-night shift at Walmart, a worker noticed a man lingering in adjacent aisles. He never approached her, never spoke, and never bought anything. He simply stood close enough to ensure she knew she was being hunted. Just as panic set in, a woman appeared. She grabbed the worker's arm with the familiarity of an old friend, whispering urgently that the man was recording her and offered to lead her to safety. A similar tactic played out at the dive bar. The sophisticated stout returned a week later, this time bringing a trendy, overly friendly woman.
She acted as the disarming face of the operation, touching the bartender's arm and offering a lucrative job at an exclusive private party. Back in the Walmart, the supposed savior maintained a tight grip. She kept up a loud, casual stream of conversation, forcefully steering the terrified worker away from the safety of the cash registers and deep into the cavernous, empty sections of the store. This tactic relies heavily on social compliance. From a young age, we are conditioned to be polite, to accept help, and to avoid making a scene. Predators exploit this conditioning, using the pressure of a seemingly kind gesture to override a target's internal survival instincts. The friendly woman is the operation's most critical tool. Her entire purpose is to seamlessly extract the target from a camera's view without triggering a physical struggle. The trap only closes when the target crosses a very specific threshold. The ambush phase activates the second the victim is guided out of a predictable, monitored commercial space and into an isolated secondary location. The Walmart decoy didn't lead the worker to a manager or security guard. She dragged her straight past the populated aisles and directly towards an unmonitored side exit used for warehouse shipments, a blind spot perfectly suited for an abduction. At the dive bar, the trap closed right at closing time. An idling black van blocked the front glass while a man violently rattled the back door. They were intentionally trying to terrify the bartender, attempting to flush her out the front entrance directly into their waiting vehicle. And at the gas station, the man who had been stalking the clerk hid in a known blind spot by the woods. The second she locked the door and moved toward her car, he emerged from the shadows and rapidly closed the distance, footsteps slapping the pavement.
Physical barriers and overhead cameras are already calculated into the predator's equation. They never intend to strike under the fluorescent lights. The entire operation is engineered to herd the victim into the dark, where those security systems offer zero protection. Security reviewing the Walmart tapes saw the trap clearly. The decoy had walked in side by side with the stalker. The rescue was orchestrated theater. Police investigating the dive bar uncovered similar preparation, masked attackers and an unregistered van. These were clinical, premeditated hunts. With police miles away and standard security measures entirely bypassed, what actually kept these women from disappearing? They survived because they shattered the script. The Walmart worker violently yanked her arm free and screamed at the top of her lungs, destroying the quiet extraction. The bartender ignored her instinct to flee the noise at the back door, armed herself with a heavy metal shaker, and refused to be flushed outside. In the heavy silence of the night shift, technology and locks will only go so far. Your most reliable security system is your own intuition. Surviving an orchestrated trap means listening to that cold feeling in your gut, drawing a hard line, and being completely, unapologetically rude to anyone who crosses it.